And there's this Gen Z versus millennial stuff that's going on, and I don't know why. Hi guys, my name is Lisa. Welcome back to Bants. And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about starting something new. If you don't already know, this vlog on its own is something new, so you can imagine my excitement or how I feel about doing something like this. So we're talking about what starting something new means, what it means starting something new as a Gen Z or as a person. But before we go into that, I want to introduce this new segment of my channel. This is the actual Gen Z Bants, right? The other part of my channel will be dedicated to talking about content writing, content development, and blogging tips as well. So you can check out a couple of those videos. I already have some of that. So in this video, like I said, we're talking about Gen Z generally. In this aspect of my channel, we're talking about Gen Z generally, and it will be focused on Gen Z lifestyles, focus on communities around Gen Z. We talk about what life is like for the Gen Z right now, especially Gen Zs that are living in Nigeria, talking about things that revolve around education, jobs, traveling out, relationship, finances, and occasionally interviews. And of course, this vlog is an offshoot of my already existing blog. So definitely there's some topics there that I've seen people react to, people ask questions about, people comment to, and there are a lot of things that actually need a lot of discussion. So also I'll be bringing up topics on the blog down here on my YouTube channel where we can talk about it. So you may be wondering, why am I doing this? I think there's this perspective, there's this notion that's been thrown around about what Gen Zs are like. If you're currently following the trends on social media, you would know that there's a new BB Nigeria season, right? That's Big Brother Nigeria. There's a new season, and you have the All Stars. Where you have Sisi, Alex, Kidvaya, Adekunle, Joey. Who's my namesake? For weird reasons, I don't know. I don't really feel her that much, but this season, I'm starting to like her. We also have Lebai and a couple of others. Neo, Talani Badru was my favorite at one point. White Money, Messi. It's been all fun, but there's been the aspect that the media has been pushing so much, and it's this there's this vibe. There's how Gen Zs have been stereotyped as loud, disrespectful, extroverted, they want to push back and all of that. But on this channel, we want to show a new side of the Gen Z, not just a new side to speak, but a side that has not been explored, a side that is not showing how innovative we are, how intuitive we are, the sort of creative minds that Gen Zs are. And there's this Gen Z versus millennial stuff that's going on, and I don't know why. But which basically what my aim is to do here is to just have a community of Gen Zs in a natural state, right? I'm not saying all of that is not natural, but there has to be another side that we can show and explore, and that is part of what we're focusing on this channel. So what we want to talk about, starting something new. What does starting something new feel like? Why is it difficult to start something new? What's the process like? Starting something new is interesting. It can be intriguing. It's something that you think of as an idea that pops up in your head, and you feel this will be useful, this will be beneficial, this is something that you want to get your hands started on off or started at, whether it's a job, whether it's a business. Starting something new is exciting. There's just something that pushes you to say, oh, this has never been done before, or this has been done but it has not been done this way, or this has been done but it has not been done by me. So you want to put your hands at it, right? But then sort of feel some sort of hindrances, and for me, I think I felt so. Doing this whole vlog has been quite challenging. I have put off starting the vlog, I have put off making videos, and there are videos that are actually even made, but just going through that editing process, editing and creating just became challenging, and then you have backlog of all of that. So why does this happen? One major reason why we face challenges when it comes to starting something new would be because of imposter syndrome, right? So imposter syndrome is a place where you feel you're not good enough, you're not worth it, it's not something that you can do, you don't just feel the strength, you feel fake, basically, in some real, like a lot of people have talked on imposter syndrome, but why does it keep coming up? Because it happens to everybody, right? You feel not good enough, basically. You feel it's not something that you do. You feel like a fraud. Yeah, I think that's the word. It's feeling of being fraudulent, like you're a liar, you'll be exposed. And it happens when it comes to jobs, feeling like whatsoever task your manager gives you, you'll not be able to accomplish. But then when you eventually produce the task, you feel it's going to be criticized, going to be thrown away. And when you get to that state, sometimes you don't even feel the urge to want to continue. And that's because of something again that we'll call your inner critic. So your inner critic is just you challenging yourself, you not wanting to try, self-sabotage, and all of those negative thoughts. Another thing that happens when it comes to starting something new is fear. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of being criticized, fear that is not going to span off, fear that just won't work, right? But then something I heard recently is most of the chances that you don't take or that you get but you don't take, you don't know what the end results will be. When you actually take a step, it's 50-50, right? So you have a 50% chance of doing it well, succeeding, every good thing that will happen, and then there's another 50% chance of it failing. But when you don't take the next step, that's 100% failure. So you never even tried, you never even put yourself on the stage to say, okay, let's even see what will come out of it. And I remember one time a friend of mine was saying, when it comes to asking ladies out, there are two things that you get. She says yes, or she says no. So I know just ask. No is not going to end you, sort of. So failing is not going to end you, and failing is not necessarily. How do I say this? Failing is not something that it's not necessarily bad. You can learn from failure. Like generally, I don't think 2023 is my year so far, but we're still here, we're still pushing. At one point, I thought I was going to fail it because I've not seen the result yet, but I still did it anyway. And every other thing that I needed to do to get the best out of it, I put in all of those efforts or all of that effort. So why not just try? Another thing that happens when it comes to starting something new is financial constraints, and it's everywhere. We are in the renewed, so-called renewed shege era. We're in the so-called renewed shege era, right? And everybody's facing it one way or another, looking for new jobs, putting eye everywhere, sending CV, collecting rejection letter here and there, right? So financial constraints is a big deal, right? Right now, I feel like I want to start a business and just thinking about the money. I remember imposter syndrome, right? So we're thinking that if you put in the little money you have, what if it fails? But then, what if it doesn't? So please be on the lookout when I start my business. Please patronize me. It's not easy. Another thing that happens with starting something is time, right? So one thing that's pushed me off with starting this vlog or resuming the vlog was being a student. And I have to say this, I give kudos to any student who is into any business, or a student that has a job, or a student that is a content creator, or students that have a job, run businesses, they are content creators. They are still human beings living on this planet Earth, especially in this Nigeria. I have to give kudos to them because how the whole time management thing works, no be small, we choke. But time is also another big factor when it comes to starting something new. Once you're not dedicated, once you're not consistent, you begin to have issues. My social media, being a content creator, I suffered because the time is not just there. You have to make sacrifices, continually dedicate yourself to this thing. And for something that your imposter syndrome or inner critic self is already trying to sabotage, you can imagine. And remember, there's still the finance aspects. You're trying to feed, trying to buy data, still put money inside business. So starting something new is no jokes. But then you just have to take yourself to the point where you're not just thinking about it, you take the next step. Everybody can sit down anywhere and think, right? But you have to carry your leg. do the work, even if it's 5 naira profit you make from it, you shall collect your money. That's the cocoa, right? And another thing, another mistake people make is you're not going to make profit immediately, right? I think that's just business. You're not going to make profit immediately. Whether people are sponsoring you or you're self-sponsored or you receive one grant from somewhere, you're definitely not going to make profit immediately, even if it's a month, if it's 2 months, or a year or 2 years before you break even. So just check out stuff around finances, and I hope we get to talk about that in subsequent videos on the channel. And yes, the final part for me, like the final touch point when it comes to starting something is perfectionism. You're waiting for everything to be perfect, you're waiting for the right time. That once is September 1, 2023, that's when I'll start. Or once is January the 1st of the year, that's when I'll start, so that I can keep myself accountable 365 days. My day does not work like it does not work that way. One time I used to think that okay, I'll start stuff on odd numbered days, maybe 2579, or I'll start on even number days 2478. Forgive my counting, 2468, right? Days that are peculiar. You want to start on the first, or I want to start on the 10th, I want to start on the 20th. It never works. Those days will come and then excuses will surely pop off. You feel like it's not perfect again and then you push off. But on that 2 weeks, it does not work that way. Or you want to start maybe first quarter, second quarter, first half of the year, or second half of the year. Life does not work that way. Times never be perfect. Something would always happen. I remember when I said immediately after my exam, I was going to start creating content. But on during the exams, right, my phone fell. It was on my tripod stand and then it just fell. I could not move, I could not react. I just saw the phone lying there on the ground. I was like, oh no. Maybe I want to start content creation. That one happened. Like I still don't want to look at that tripod stand. And a lot of other things have happened in that time. You see, that's when there will be no light or something will happen. You just have to find a way to make things work yourself, because times will never be perfect, right? You can wake up tomorrow now and discover that Nigerian government has done this, has done that. You're just wasting time. There are no perfect conditions. There are no perfect opportunities. And another aspire puts preparation, something equals opportunity, something like that, right? So you have to be prepared. It's where you are prepared. It's where you're acting that the right opportunities will meet you. Nobody will come and meet you where you're thinking. Show me what you've done. What have you produced in that time? Even if it's 10 sweets or something, what have you done in that time? So this is just my brief on the whole feeling of starting something new. I hope that you're able to pick something from this. I hope that I get to talk more about this topic or this issue. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to this channel. There are so many links that I have to share. Read the blog, subscribe to the weekly newsletter, I follow all of the pages on Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. Just make sure that you're a part of this community and that you get to enjoy this. And as I love to say on the blog, and as I'm learning to say on this YouTube channel, bye and a drop of honey for your day. See you next time.